Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back once again with a Kaspa crypto live stream. We have got FUD, as we have so much FUD going on right now in the Kaspa community. But with that FUD, we have got some good news. Seemingly, we've got confirmation that USDC Circle is coming to Kaspa and Tether won't be far off. And even Tier 1 exchanges also seem to be edging ever closer. We've got some other good fundamental developments and macro news to get into in this stream today. So as always, family, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, turn on that post notification bell, and if you want a community, you come and chill chat and just learn more and also be aware what's going on in real time as opposed to every day for an hour period. Check out my free community. You can join. Links down below in the description and also on my homepage. We're actively going to try to be learning more and more in there and expressing our belief in Kaspa. Despite these stagnant prices, what's being built still is reassuring, and we hope that it will manifest into FOMO, into price rallying. And of course, there are other projects that could equally do very well in the cycle. Of course, our main focus, of course, is being Kaspa. But that community there is meant to be more so just a crypto community. We're there just trying to basically learn together, especially regarding fundamental news and what that can have an effect in the market. That being said, welcome back again to the channel family, to the community once more. Zied, once more, first today. Welcome back, brother. Hopefully doing very well this day. And you too, Next Level Cash, second as well. Welcome back. Double D, hello, my man. Welcome back indeed. Well, now I can really say that I live in EURS. Soon you won't be able to fart anymore. 2 points less on your social credit. Yeah, things are getting crazy right now. In the whole world, and the whole cracking down on regulations and whatnot. It's ridiculous, especially in the EU right now. Welcome back, Wing Hong, bro. Hope you're doing very well. Rip Charlie Kirk. We pray for hi. For him, yes. Those who are not aware, I'm not going to show it on stream, and I'm also going to be paraphrasing and kind of being very cryptic about it because I don't know if this makes sense to me on YouTube and get me shadow banned. But effectively, there have been sources that came out about an hour ago or so that apparently Charlie Kirk has been unalived at an event in Utah. I've seen a picture on my Insta feed, my Twitter feed. I don't know the legitimacy of the actual post. I'm not sure if it's completely true or not. But either way, my hearts go out to him and his family. People may not like Charlie Kirk, but I don't think, that's ever the right action to take if you don't resonate with someone's opinions, But yeah, unfortunately for Charlie Kirk, there, hopefully things pan out for the better. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened right there. As soon as Kaspa is over $2, I'm leaving Europe, taking my mother and heading for the sun. Far from this madness, far from everything. I'm with you, Double D. Once Kaspa makes those gains, me myself as well, I also plan at the earliest convenience for me to up and leave the UK as well. Right now, again, for me, maybe America, but I'm more so setting my sights on Asia. It just seems a lot more, I don't know, pleasant. It's currently how I'm going to pin it down, pleasant over there. I've never been to America, so I cannot say for sure about America, but I've been to parts of Asia, namely Japan, and I thought it was incredible there. But yeah, I definitely want to leave the Europe, western side of the country, or the world, to be honest. In Europe, he's going crazy. The laws they're going to put in place to muddle people's opinions, like England. Oh yeah, I saw that earlier, actually. I mean, it was partly in a joke, but Mr. Miles set a post in our free Discord server earlier about how UK policemen are arresting people for calling them Muppets. So apparently now the term Muppet is enough for you to get arrested, which I think is ridiculous. And of course now with the EU and the UK also pushing out these age restrictions and this stuff, and the monitoring of text messages and whatnot, it's basically just more control over you and giving you less of freedom of speech. So yeah, it's tyranny in the finest form, and it's also a big concern. Which is also partly why I've got to be careful about what I say as well. Even more so now than ever before, because I am in the UK and therefore, while I'm here, I'm liable. Welcome back, Kryptoni, bro. Whoop indeed. Welcome back, my man. Hope you're doing very well today. I'm not a believer, but in the past few days, I've been praying every night before I go to bed. My father, who in heaven, may Kaspa not fail, and may smart contracts be deployed. Amen. Honestly, I love that prayer. And yeah, I mean, I am Christian personally. I'm not like a hard devoted Christian. I don't really go to church, but I do believe. And there are occasions, particularly when I'm with certain family members, where I do pray. And I have been equally praying just for those close to me to make it through such a difficult time that we're all going through right now. Because the world's messed up. Very messed up right now. Good evening, Brett, bro. I hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back, Breath. Let Kaspa fell twice, even rather. The weak sell, the hater to human seed, for the maxi to continue their accumulation lower and lower. I mean, if Cashback was to fail, it'll probably be the third time, honestly, because the first two launches of KYC 20 are deemed as both failures, despite that they're kind of doing okay now in a sense, but they both had issues the first two launches. The failing of Cashback smart contracts would be, at least in my personal belief, a final nail in the coffin for me. Not necessarily for Cashback and KEF, but for me it would be. And that would definitely cause a pullback for Kaspa due to just rising FUD and uncertainty regarding the things being built. Well, I wouldn't be too worried in the grand scheme of things, because again, you still got the likes of IGRA who are still building. If it was just Cashbacks alone doing it, and therefore if they are to fail, that kind of ruins any future prospects for Kaspa, then I would be worried. But with IGRA still building, with Project Sparkle, still kind of in the works, but it's still very early doors, that one. There's still building happening for Kaspa, so I'm still not too worried just yet. But that being said, Britain and EU are now pretty much communist tyrannies. I mean, yeah, it's a very evil world we live in right now, and because of where this whole economy is shifting towards decentralization, they realize they're losing control. So they're now trying to gain more control and just restrict us, which is frustrating. That being said, though, again, that's the FUD of that side. That side. Let's get into the Kaspa content first and foremost. So we can see right now, according to the market chart, Bitcoin currently 113,481, up 1.7%. Ethereum at 4.3k. Kaspa currently up 0.97% on the daily time frame, valued at 8.15 cents. So as we can see, Kaspa did manage to regain 8 cents yesterday, and we did see some negative price action yesterday, but it's still held above 8 cents, and it looks like it's doing the same thing right now. Of course, we are still struggling between this 8.3 and 8 zone, this zone right here. We're still struggling between that, trading between that, but Kaspa right now is holding above 8 cents. And again, if we look in history, we can see how previously it's been a very, very pivotal level of resistance. Very, very hard to break above. And now, we are now trading above that, so evidently it's now being used as a very, very strong support level for Kaspa, which is fantastic news. Given what's about to happen in the very near future, we could potentially see Kaspa make that move again up to the 9 cents, hopefully to the 10 cents, and then making a new local high above 11 or 12 cents. The reason for the pump today in the market is off the back of the macro report. So again, this is information that I told my VIPs when it happened. So again, if you want to find out stuff ahead of time and in real time and kind of be up to date what's happening in the markets and whatnot, you can check out the VIP for 3 for 7 days. But as I mentioned to my VIPs, we had the PPI inflation reports that came out today. And to paraphrase it, this is really, really bullish and pretty much confirms that we're going to be seeing rate cuts. Of course, I gave more detail, and I gave even a future outlook of what this will indicate to the markets in my VIP as well. So you want to have an understanding of exactly where it's going to lead us in the medium term as well. Again, you can join for 3 for 7 days, but the long and short of it for the immediate short term is this basically guarantees now we will be getting rate cuts. Tomorrow's CPI inflation report will also give us a very, very good insight in exactly how bullish the Fed will be. Will we see just a 25 basis point rate cut or a 51? How many rate cuts will we get again will be determined in the very near future. That's why the markets are currently looking good today. SUI again up 2.33%, so at $3.55. Zebek is still trading now just above the golden pocket here, but even then, for the most part, markets across the board are looking relatively strong off the back of that, and I'm sure we'll see even more momentum tomorrow if the CPI is good. And going into FOMC meeting on September 17th, we should be seeing a lot more green following that as well. Islamic communism, you could say that again. Pray for Charlie Kirk. Yeah, indeed. Again, those who may or may not like him, that's up to you. But seeing a life loss is still heartbreaking. We're all human at the end of the day. So, yeah, I do pray for him. I'm not sure if he has been killed or unalive completely, or if he's just, I think he's just been shot. But either way, it's harrowing to hear and see. So I do pray for him. I hope things will pan out for the better in the end. I have not looked too much into it. I literally just saw before I was loading up my stream. I do have it on my Twitter feed. As you just probably saw it very briefly down here. But again, because I don't want to potentially get penalized, I'm not going to showcase this on stream, the actual image. But yeah, it's harrowing stuff, to say the least, happening very close to home for a lot of people, I'm sure. And welcome back, Go Super. Hope you're doing very, very well. And yes, indeed, if you enjoy these streams, now I'm doing them every day again. Hopefully for the foreseeable future. If you enjoy it, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Now, that being said, we can see right now on CMC, Kaspa currently is ranked at number 49, so it's still falling down the rankings, still in the top 50 though, which is good, but the volume again is still lackluster, 37.53 million, not doing very well, but hopefully we'll see that change very, very soon with some listings seemingly on the horizon, or even stablecoins. There's no evidence or news saying he's dead. I mean, that's again why I'm not too sure with this whole situation, but my prayers go out to those who may be affected. Now, we can see here, and we're continuing with Kaspa right now, Oysun Lee, CEO of CoinPal, who is a venture of the KEF, says USDC on Kaspa in reposting to the KEF post here. Good morning from Seoul in Korea. We have token post, a thread here from the on-chain symposium. You can see the images here with Kaspa, who's currently at this event in Korea, which is really, really cool stuff. Of course, the co-host of that event with the likes of Crypto.com and equally Tether. You can see their banner here, which this has got some controversy behind the banner, and we'll get to the controversy in a moment. It's a bit of FUD, but I'll talk about the FUD because I think it's quite a rookie error, especially for what the KF is meant to be. But fundamentally, I still think the whole event was quite good, from what I've heard. But you've got that happening here. You can see here, KF Coffee and whatnot. So having here talking about EVM compatible protocols being built on Kaspa, smart contract enable with the Casplex and whatnot, and even the agenda and speaker list here as well. Now, all looking good. And then we even got this post here. So if you look at here, we can see Circle USDC on Kaspa. So seemingly we're already getting some early images and signs therefore from the KEF that USDC Circle will be launching on Casplex once the mainnet's up. Now, at least that's the speculation I'm bringing to us right now. But if it already says USDC on Kaspa, I'm assuming therefore that they have some form of agreement already to bridge Circle on Casplex mainnet, and then again if things go smoothly and swimmingly, which we hope they will do, then Circle apparently said they're going to do it natively as well, which would be even more bullish and more confidence and vote of confidence for Casplex and for Kaspa as well. We can see in this post here as well, hopefully Marco, who is the VP for Global Expansion and Strategic Partnerships for Tether, USDT, hopefully Marco and Andres Kim didn't mind that we made Tether a stable Sion. Now that actually has some relevance, and we'll get to that in a very short moment. Third time meeting with Andres after Bitcoin Conference Nashville in November 2024, Consensus Hong Kong in February 2025. So those are the two times they met previously, in Nashville and Hong Kong. And now they've met again in Korea, always pitching Kaspa. So we seem to have Circle definitely coming to Kaspa, and Tether still lingering, and good chance we'll see USDT on Kaspa very soon as well. Now, this is where we're going to get into a little bit of the FUD. But I'm not going to downplay it too much. You're all, please, more than welcome to voice your opinions on the matter as well, and tell me how bad you may think this is, or how much of a nothing burger it is. Again, that's completely up to you. We have got a fair amount of FUD in regards to this event. All in all, I think it was good, but I think this is quite unprofessional here. So the first one here, the crypto conference, one in Hong Kong, many well-known crypto and speakers here. You've got a whole list of them here, very, very well-renowned names all across the board. As you take a time to pause it and look for yourself. But then here, one element I think is actually more so a nothing burger, but could be quite unprofessional here, is Johnny, of course, was also highlighted as one of the speakers there. The KF Executive Director, but his profile picture is his Twitter profile picture of a crocodile. You know, everybody else who's there, Justin Kim, Avalanche head of Asia, you know, they have the actual business photos, actual faces in every single one. It has a face there. Johnny has chosen to use the crocodile. So he hasn't got a proper face there. So that for me is kind of like, you know, if you're meant to be a third party representing a $1 billion asset, you think you'd have more professionalism, or at least to show your face. But I do think this is probably a nothing burger. In truth be told, I don't think not having your actual face there is that detrimental. But it does build from here. We've got this post here from Kaspa Warrior. Breaking news. Liquid unlocked. EU comply can't. Stable Seons. We can see here from the image we showed earlier. Kraken listing Kaspa Usdt now live. Liquid unlocked. Not liquidity. Liquid unlocked. Global Tier 1 exchange support. Whitebit listing Kaspa. That's also something we're going to get into in a moment. That's actually quite a big deal, but we've got that here. EU comply can't exchange. Regulated access. We've got that here. And we've got Usdc Circle. Stable Seons meets speed. Now, kind of speechless in this. Again, I think fundamentally it's just a few spelling mistakes, and considering the KF have done many events, this is to my knowledge the first or one of the few times they have made grammatical errors. So it's not that serious, but liquid, not liquidity unlocked, EU comply can't, not compliant, and stable Seons, not stable coins. It has been met with a relatively fair amount of backlash. Of course, Shy being the main driver of it again, seemingly, but it's not just him. Many people right now are very frustrated. My pronunciation is terrible. I speak 7 languages, but you know, even everybody else can use free public services to double check your spelling, like Grammarly, for example, whatever it may be. So Shah, of course, goes for a little bit here, saying that's what happens when you let a talent like Chad slip between your fingers. So ultimately, he's just saying that, you know, Chad, who used to run the Kaspa Twitter page, the unofficial, official Twitter page, he now runs his own one, Kaspa Commons, and of course, Chad was also working with Rhubarb Media and, you know, has some kind of connections, whatnot, to the KF effectively. There has seemingly been a splitting between the KF and Rhubarb Media of sorts, or even with Chad at least. So, Shah is saying here, with you now letting Chad go, you know, you're now making more grammatical errors. You disrespected his acumen, think you can do everything by yourselves, and end up looking like fools. I hope you're not as content about how professional and Bitcoinized Kaspa looks to the outside world. Hope it was worth it. Now, again, Shy once more firing a little bit of shots here. It's definitely a bruh moment. I can say that much at the very least. It's definitely a bruh moment. I don't think it's too serious in the grand scheme of things. Some will disagree, and I have seen comments, people disagreeing about how very unprofessional it is, and how, again, like we've seen it here, there's many more. I mean, the question again you could ask is, why was no one using any fact checks? You know, why is there no one who is... I mean, if I'm being honest, I mean, these mistakes, I don't think I would make them, but at the same time, I'm also dyslexic. So when I look at this banner right here, I, at just a glance, would not recognize any of the issues because that's my dyslexic brain. I'm dyslexic, so I don't see the issues until they've been pointed out. And then I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Right? The whole comment about Tom Polinsky, you know, wanting Kaspa to be professional and Bitcoinized, I get what he means by that. I don't think it's necessary, but again, that's Shy being Shy. We can move on a little bit here as well, and then Shy also putting a little bit of fun, saying, I think stablecoins on Casplex are a terrible idea, but I don't mind EU comply can't stable Seons that meets speed. Again, Shy just poking fun. I don't really have a rebuttal to that. It's just a bit of a situation, again. And, you know, he also talks about, again, you know, Charles mentioning about how, you know, letting Chad go. Fanti here responds about, you know, how these big, you know, people like KF, they're focusing on tech. And while I agree, these institutions and whatnot, the KF and whatnot, they're focusing on tech. Therefore, grammatical errors are not that deep, and I agree. But at the same time, it does make it look unprofessional. You can't disagree with that. That's all I'm trying to highlight. I'm not trying to raise FUD on this. That's not the point of it. And even Chav responded to this as well, saying to Rudy here, 3D Rudy, allow me to add some personal commentary to your comments. Which his comment here was, the big boys are really focused on the tech and KF is the main group pushing aggressively. That's what Kaspa needs right now, not endless philosophical debates. Deals go through and nobody gives a damn about it. Minor temporary slides, spelling errors. And I agree, it is, again, for me, I'm on the fence because I'm like, it's kind of a nothing burger, but also, with it being such a small thing, why can it not happen in the first place? Why can they not use some form of grammar checker to look into that? And Chad says here, the main core Kaspa development track record speaks for itself. Innovative, refined, test, refine, test, and then flawless deliver when ready. We saw that with 10 BPS. We saw innovative technology at 10 BPS. It was refined and tested again, refined and tested again, and then was delivered flawlessly, no issues whatsoever. In Casplex's side of things, or KES side of things, Casplex released the KYC 20. It was innovative, but they didn't evidently refine and test it enough because there were issues. So the Kaspa core, their development track record speaks for itself. Right now the KEF and Casplex don't have that track record. The main grassroots Kaspa community is amplifying around the globe with the support of and others, ambassadors and merchants being equipped daily, educational posts and videos produced by many, and new integrations happening monthly. It's building the global grassroots movement for amplifiers while the devs consistently ship not only improved but revolutionary tech is considered a soft approach. Then I say Kashmir for the win is working. That said, it's good to see presence in Korea. I agree. It's a tough market to crack, but inroads are being made. That's good. I agree with that much. Whether it's ambassadors, merchants, miners, devs, or through the support of the KF, most genuine efforts move the needle. Just always make sure to stay true to the vision and yes, spell check. So Chad's just saying here, and I agree with this message actually, in the grand scheme of things, KEF and Kaspa now being in Korea, a tough market is a good thing, and we're now making strides and expanding into a bigger global market. That's fantastic. But, stay true to your vision, decentralization, and it's just not hard to check spelling, it's not that hard to check spelling. Respect to BlockDag and individuals here as well, and others working hard in the Korean community, and so on and so forth. And even Jen Johnny does come out saying the grammatical errors shouldn't have taken place. I don't disagree with that. But also note that for the past 15 plus KF events, that happened only once. Now, and then it also goes in here a little bit about Shy again. Of course, the back and forth with Shy and Johnny, consistent thing. It's timing at this point, honestly. But again, typos are just typos. I think it's more or less a nothing burger. I don't think it's that serious, but at least owning up to mistakes is good. And I do agree that for the numerous events the KF have been a part of, it's only happened once. So it's not been a reoccurring thing. But at the same time, you'd like to hope that Kaspa is held to a higher regard, as something as small as spelling mistakes wouldn't be something that would happen. That's just a little bit of FUD. And again, when you think about the FUD we've been covering the last few days, unfortunately, in this channel, I don't like doing it, but it's information we need to talk about regarding Casplex and the smart contract launch that's incoming, when we don't know, but there are some flags and clouds of doubt being raised above it right now, the Casplex mainnet launch of smart contracts. In regards to all the FUD we've seen, this for me is very, very minimal. Just some spelling typos is not that deep. Seeing Kaspa and KF expanding into the Korean market is fantastic. Seeing them talking to Tether, seeing allegedly Circle going to be on Kaspa is fantastic. The white bit listing we're going to get to in a very short moment. And all this stuff I think is actually a very, very big deal. So I am not too worried about it in the grand scheme of things. It's good to see that developers are coming to Kaspa. Stablecoins will be there very, very soon. And equally, Tier 1 exchanges also seemingly on the horizon as well. It's just a shame that, again, it seems to be any time that potential uncertainty around Kaspa's KS seems to dissipate, something else happens that makes you think, what's going on here? It's something as small from spelling mistakes to as serious as the code is just being rushed. There's always to be some form of uncertainty around it, and I think that's mainly driven by the fact that Kaspa's price has been down for so long now, that people now are so used to the price being down that they're just driving along with the FUD. That's what I think it is. I think people right now are frustrated that Kaspa's down at 8 point almost 8.2 cents right now from its 20 cents back in August 1st, 2024, over a year of negative price action effectively. And their frustrations are rallying, their emotions are starting to rise as expected, as justified, and therefore any little thing is starting to frustrate people. And I get it, it sucks. But again, when you think about it on the grand scheme of things, is a spelling mistake that serious? I don't think so. I don't. It's not the ideal thing, of course, but it's not that serious. There's still got some big things. And even then, if you're looking at other stuff as well, you can see here, Kaspa is coming to Whitebit, the largest crypto exchange in Europe by traffic, with over 8 million users, over $5 billion in daily trading volume, and more than $2.7 trillion traded annually. Whitebit has become the leading hub for global crypto trading, backed by top-tier security ratings, and Kaspa is now available on Whitebit, courtesy of the KEF. So again, KEF are definitely actively helping Kaspa grow in adoption and whatnot, and that's probably due to their market makers, DWF Labs and Wintermute and what else that is as well they're working with. They're getting Kaspa on some big exchanges, so that is reassuring, and that means that when the market does start to turn properly, Kaspa will have the reach to start growing with it as well. Of course, it's not Binance, but those sort of listings I think will come very, very soon. There was a post actually, which someone had done, this one here about Binance support here about, when will Kaspa coming out. This is not a new post to maybe worrying about this, about how, the future contract for Binance and Kaspa does not guarantee a spot listing. That we've known that for years, actually. We've known it for a very, very long time. They are not going to tell us when a spot listing is going to happen, but they are still talking to Kaspa. So again, it's a matter of time when we don't know. But that's Whitebit. We also got here as well, the listing with Whitebit here. The listing backed by the KEF, the Whitebit listing here, coming soon. Next one's HTX, Huobi Global, or Crypto.com. So seemingly, Johnny's also hinting and leaking at the possibility that we're going to be seeing Crypto.com and or Huobi Global at HTX coming very, very soon. This is Huobi Global right here. 3.5 billion, 24-hour trading volume, almost 5 million weekly visitors right now. Crypto.com, 3.1 billion. So slightly less trading volume, 24-hour. A lot less weekly visitors, but that just means there's more whales on this platform, therefore. More bigger holders as opposed to HTX. And this one's more on the Asian market, that's more so the American market. So we are seemingly getting some big exchanges. Now, someone thinks I said that HTX is tier 3, maybe. I'll be very transparent right now. I'm not entirely sure where the listings are for what is clarified as a tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 besides sentiment. Because I would assume that if you're in a top 10 position, you are perceived as a tier 1. Binance is a tier 1, Bybit. We don't say Bybit is a tier 1. I don't know why. It's number 2 on CMC. We don't say BitGet is a tier 1. It's number 6 on CMC with 4.7 billion and 3.1 million weekly visitors. So I don't know what exactly clarifies tier 1 or tier 2, at least in the community sentiment. But these two listings potentially coming soon would be reassuring and more adoption for Kaspa. And then hopefully that will correlate to your inevitable OKXs, Coinbases, Binances, Upbits, and the rest, and that will hopefully come through Robinhood and whatnot. That'll come through in the future. How long, again, we don't know. But, the takeaway from this event, ignoring something as frustrating but almost inconsequential as spelling mistakes and grammatical errors, seeing that you now got Whitebit, a very huge exchange that's about to be listing Kaspa, a very huge exchange, and equally now knowing that Crypto.com and HTX seem to be close enough as well, so big listings coming through in a convenient manner as well, going into Q4, and equally Tether still speaking to Kaspa, and even Usdc confirmed in a sense to be on Kaspa. I'd say we're still in a very, very strong spot to see a lot more FOMO and adoption in the coming months, or even coming weeks, with the FOMC meeting only 7 days away now, next week. Again, it does heavily depend on the successful nature of Kasplex's smart contract and mainnet launch, which we don't know when it's coming out. We haven't got a date anymore. All we've been telling now is soon, and we have been seeing a lot of fun about that recently, about potential red flags and will it end up, being a threat to decentralization and security. Again, we haven't got a complete confirmation right now, and then we'll not be giving any answers. People who've been asking questions, like Shire, like Kaspa Silver, like many more, are not being met with answers right now, which is frustrating, no doubt. So all we can hope is that the cashback launch is successful when it does come out. And if it is, then all of these developments, USDC, USDT coming to Kaspa, tier ones like, or big exchanges like Whitebit and tier ones like HTX and Crypto.com coming would also be fantastic to seeing more FOMO, more adoption, and then the price and hopefully will start reverse from there as well. Again, time will tell. We've got some other big events still coming through, like in the fact that in 3 days' time now, Kaspa going to be in Berlin. You're going to be seeing many notable individuals or third parties, whatever, who's going to be there in a sort of representation of Kaspa, from BitStreet to Zealous to Casplex, Igra, Rhubarb Media, Catpool, Rock the Kaspa, Casway, Wolfie, Tandem, Nacho, Down, River Designs, Cas Finance, Cascade Castle, the Visual A, Blockchain Banter Crew, A&B Crypto, Moonbound, KNS, Cas Domain, Crumpet Media. I actually don't know that one. But many big, the biggest part of the Kaspa community, I'd say the biggest group of them being there. Unfortunately, I won't be there. But maybe one day I'll be a notable figurehead like this as well in the Kaspa community like that. And in regards, we've also this post here from Confirmed Finance. I haven't heard too much about them just yet. They're apparently going to be the first lending and borrowing protocol platform on the Kaspa ecosystem by ZellaSwap. Apparently they're now officially live on Igra Labs as well, the Calvar testnet, which is quite cool, very cool. Marking the first public dApp deployed on the network. A new chapter for the Kaspa DeFi begins here. Again, I'm not sure the legit nature of Confirmed Finance. Same thing happened with Probify. Just remembering, again, reminding you all to do your own research, be very careful. They could be perfectly fun and legit, but just be careful what you get into right now. But this is still very good to see all around. More adoption comes to Kaspa, more building happening right now. And now also, I'm sure, correlate to Kaspa getting more adoption in the not too distant future. And we'll see this price hopefully start making that move again, surpassing these tough barriers of 9, 10 cents, 12 cents, the 13 cents, and then hopefully pushing up towards all-time highs and then some again. Stablecoins and Kaspa would be absolutely game-changing. I think that would be the biggest catalyst for Kaspa in the not-too-distant future, especially if Circle trades on Kaspa being the most trustworthy stablecoin in the whole world. That'd be a big vote of confidence for Kaspa as well if it came on Kaspa. And those who end up seeing that you can trade USDC on Kaspa for significantly cheaper and quicker than anything else. Again, one thing you have to understand is when you take a transaction on your exchange of choice, whatever it may be, if you go on to, let's just say, for example, Binance Exchange or whatever, and you're trying to exchange and send money from one exchange to another, if you're trying to send USDT or USDC from Binance to another exchange, or even to a Tandem wallet, whatever it may be, it will send you, it will tell you when you click on it and you like what is the best chain to use, the best protocol to use. You know, what's the quickest, what's the cheapest? It tells you that. And typically it also puts the best one at the top as well. Therefore, Kaspa, once it gets more widely adopted and the other platform entities integrated Kaspa, like when Binance, in my opinion, inevitably launches Kaspa for spot listing, you'll probably see the ability to trade and exchange your Kaspa through the Kaspa protocol, the Kaspa chain, to your Kaspa wallets, your Tangent, whatever it may be. And that will therefore be perceived as the fastest and cheapest chain. That will end up, people don't tend to care necessarily what chain they use, they just want it to come in the cheapest and quickest way. So they don't care what platform they use, what protocol they use, what chain they use. They will end up using Kaspa because it's the cheapest and quickest. So it just makes sense for them, you know. But that being said, again, we've still got more to look out for. Get into the questions real quickly because I have definitely missed quite a few. 3 more days for the Kaspa Berlin experience. I wonder who from the community will I encounter there. Well, we saw the picture here. So many people going to be there. So hopefully you see a lot of them and you could hopefully send pictures into the Discord server as well so we can see what's going on there, because I'm excited to see what's going to come out of that as well. Be very cool, I'm sure. Here goes Bitcoin and I'm 150x long. Well, good luck to you, real PG. Bitcoin right now is doing very well. Tomorrow could definitely change depending on the CPR report, so just be very wary of that. If the report comes out reassuring, then it'll probably continue. For me, Bitcoin has to break 117,000 for us to see the next leg up confirmed. If not, then we could still see it coming down a little bit in the not too distant future. But once we go past the FOMC meeting, I'd like to believe that we'll start seeing the green hills of Valhalla coming out again. Kaspa meetings should stay away from Hong Kong. It upsets me when business events continue to support Hong Kong admin. Hong Kong's a massive, massive part of the world, and don't get me wrong, you may not like Hong Kong. Same way how you may not like parts in Europe, parts in Japan, like parts in America. You may not like a region, but if that region has significant influence and financial reach, then it's worthwhile as a business to expand into them. I understand you don't like Hong Kong, Wing Hong, but completely ignoring a sector as big as Hong Kong could end up having more negative consequences as it would have benefits in the future. We'd love to be going to Berlin event. Yeah, honestly, me and you too, but there's still tickets available. Yeah, I unfortunately don't have the money to go, nor the time to go. So whether tickets or not, I just can't go right now. And yeah, all your extra cash being in Kaspa is not a bad shout. Ridiculous spelling errors from professional. That's what I mean, right? End of the day, it's just spelling mistakes, so it's not the biggest fun in the world. But when you're meant to be representing Kaspa, which is a top 50 asset, $2 billion asset, it just make it look unprofessional. You'd like to believe that it would not be, it wouldn't happen. Attention to detail seems to be a common theme. Yeah, I tend to agree. Welcome back, TP Ham, bro. Hope you're doing very well, man. Makes you worried for the Cashback launch. The Cashback launch, I'm not worried about because of spelling mistakes. I understand you're talking about the lack of attention to detail being worried for the Cashback launch, but the KEF is just kind of a vendor, if you will, for Casplex. The devs for Casplex are not necessarily that associated to KEF, at least to our knowledge. Not that we have much information on that. The red flags raised by Shy makes me more observant and skeptical of the Casplex launch than just spelling errors from the KEF in this banner here. But I understand the uncertainty either way. Richard says, who cares? Everyone has made grammatical errors. Exactly. That's what I mean. There's a very clear divide between the community of it's not a big deal, it's very unprofessional. And my stance is, well, for someone who is dyslexic and have been on my whole life, these sort of errors here, if I was just looking through this banner right now, I wouldn't have noticed it. It's not until someone points it out to me, liquid unlocked, it's a liquidity unlock, EU comply can't instead of EU compliant, and stable C on stable coins, that's when I'm like, oh, actually, that's ridiculous. But I wouldn't notice that on a first glance because I'm dyslexic. That's just my excuse for it. So, end of the day, it's not that serious, but it can easily be perceived as quite unprofessional. And then even then Johnny makes a joke about here then, about hopefully the Tether Foundation, the people at Tether didn't mind that they called them a stable C or not a stable coin, Again, I don't think it's that serious, but it's still an unfortunate mistake that has definitely got people quite frustrated because there has been so much FUD raised around the KF recently, mainly driven by Shy again. But when you make mistakes, when you've got heat on you, when you've got a notable figurehead like Shy, despite he's not in Kaspa anymore, when he's raising concerns about the KF and has been doing so for months since he's been kind of exiled, with continuous mistakes about KF and their illicit plans for Kaspa, seemingly. When you've got Shy with raising concerns and you've got so much heat on you, these small spelling errors, you can't really afford to make them. You can't. If there were no issues about the KF at all, then we wouldn't care about this. We wouldn't talk about this at all. It's spelling errors. It's unfortunate. It's quite unprofessional, but it is what it is. It's because they have so much uncertainty around them right now, because capital price is down and Shy's also driving this uncertainty, that people are like, oh, this is just a very bad look. I don't think it's that serious, if I'm perfectly honest, but it's just an unfortunate situation. Mistakes on purpose, it looks like. I mean, I don't know about that, but who knows? That's right, get the big players buying already. I mean, the big players will come in through time, so. So sick of Johnny and Shy arguing the next fun, everyone. So am I. But we can't do anything about that, If Kaspa will fail because of the speed mistakes, it would never make it in the first run. Of course, it looks unprofessional, but nobody will care in 3 days. Kaspa community is just flooding out boredom. I could not agree more with you, AW. Could not agree more. Kaspa is not going to fail because of a few spelling mistakes. It's unprofessional and it looks crap. It's unfortunate, but it's such a nothing burger at the same time. It's not that serious. I'm talking about it because it's the news and it's kind of funny, if I'm honest. But in the grand scheme of things, as I have done this stream as well, I've highlighted more so the positive developments of this, which is USDC on Kaspa, USDT, and Kaspa talking for the third time again. Always picture Kaspa, Johnny here. The fact that Johnny is seemingly showcasing his profile picture instead of his actual face, which is another like really funny but stupid thing. And then also the talks from other people here about it, but then also the big tier ones as well, or the big exchanges like Whitebit and seemingly HTX.com also being leaked in a sense from Johnny that they're going to be coming soon, or the next ones to come to Kaspa. So despite the grammatical errors, which have been addressed also by Shani, I think it's more so funny than anything, but unprofessional but funny. But the big announcements today have been, for me, quite reassuring and a boost for Kaspa and confidence. Hoping and believing that we're going to get more big exchanges coming through in the next couple of months. And also stablecoins, like Circle in particular. Tether being the biggest one, but Circle being the most respected and trustworthy one, coming to Kaspa not too long after the mainnet launch as well, I'm sure. They should use that energy to get big players on board instead of wasting it on grammar. I mean, they are, effectively. Look what this is about. They got Whitebit, and they're trying to get Crypto.com and HTX. They've got Circle, apparently. And they're trying to get Tether as well. So they seemingly are focusing on getting big players anyways. What's up, Quarter Crawler, bro? Hope you're doing very, very well. And you too, Mila. Great news to keep piling up a Kaspa community. Agreed, 100%. Great stuff indeed. Welcome back, Greg, bro. Doesn't matter if you're late, you're still here, my man. Welcome back. And DC, it's been a while. Welcome back, bro. Hope you're doing very well, my man. And you too, Mr. Miles. Am I a Muppet? Yes. Don't arrest me, though. The Cashback Muppets answered Shy's good question. They have not, to my knowledge, trying to decrypt that message without saying all the swear words. But no, to my knowledge, the Cashplex team have not responded to Shy's questions at all, which is not surprising at all. They're not required to, they're not obligated to, but it would alleviate FUD if they did. Don't forget, Shy works for a different crypto, so him asking for code or test should be skeptical. You're not wrong. You're not wrong to raise those concerns either, TP. You know? Despite he has a inherent belief and trust or still like a longing for Kaspa because he was a part of it from the very beginning as a researcher, he does work for other communities now on other cryptos. So him asking for codes could be perceived as him scouting our competition, or seeing no why Kaspa does so very well and then trying to utilize that. It could be perceived as that. I don't think it's that, but you're not raising a bad point, you know. Prayers for Charlie Kirk and his family. Yeah. Prayers go out to him. Well, the questions right now. If there are good questions to his answers, they should be provided. Yeah, true. Yeah, again, whether Charlie works for another project or not, if they're good questions, as a concerned party, seemingly concerned party, they should have an answer to them, but you probably won't get one. I'm pretty upset, angry by this news. I'm guessing you're referring to the Charlie Kirk news, because I wouldn't be that upset by the Kaspa news personally. The Kirk news, I mean, I'll talk about it very briefly right now, but again, I don't want to talk about it too much because, I don't know what will and won't get me cancelled on YouTube due to certain restrictions nowadays, especially in the UK. But yeah, there has been news that apparently Charlie Kirk has been shot in Utah. Whether you like or hate him, that's up to you and your political agendas and whatnot. But seeing anybody go through something like that and be targeted for your beliefs, I think is wrong. You may not like Donald Trump, you may like Donald Trump. Doesn't mean that he should be killed. Or unalive, I should say, sorry. It doesn't mean he should be unalived because of that. So, Charlie Kirk in this instance, whether you like him or not, he shouldn't be unalive for his political agendas. So I'm frustrated that this is where the world's currently at right now. That everything is just so extreme. And it's because people are frustrated right now because how bad the general economy and how bad our lives are for the most part right now. It's just seemingly so toxic, and it's people don't seem to see a light at the end of the tunnel right now. That's the problem. Is there any trying to keep it cheaper than Kaspa? In regards to transactions and whatnot, I don't know for sure. I don't think there is though. And I agree, yes, legit questions should be answered no matter what. But they don't have to be answered, they're not obligated to do so, but it would be nice to reassure us at least. 100% target is 116.9, then we reassess. I'm not sure what you're referring to, truth be told, PG. Reassess, yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to in regards to the target. Right, I see what you mean, Wing Hong. I mean, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Be that as it may, though, again, doing business in Hong Kong is still important for adoption and whatnot. Where am I right now? If they can't spell, then you can guarantee they can't code. I mean, don't know about that, but sure. You're talking about the oppressive regime, J.U. Lemon. Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah. If you haven't noticed already, anytime it gets anything too political, I don't try to talk too much on it because, again, it is it's a very soft talking point. Like, I don't, whether it's for the better or for worse, I don't try to talk too much on political agendas because it's just a very sensitive topic. So, in regards to the regime, the Hong Kong regime, the whole this stuff here, I don't want to pry on it too much. You know, I'll call it to why, you know, KF expanding in talking in Hong Kong. I'm gonna say you may not like the idea of that, but Hong Kong's still a very big market, so expanding into it is still, in that regard, therefore, necessary. It's an AI-generated thing. Okay, well, again, that's why I said it's allegedly. Right? I have no idea for certain whether Charlie Kirk was attacked or not. I've seen a shot of it. I sent an image of it on Twitter, but again, I don't know for sure if it's the case or not. I haven't looked too much into it. Of course, I just typed a Google search in right now, and there seems to be a lot of sources about it. But again, it could also be AI generated. I have no idea. What's the Kaspa smart contract release date, please? Unfortunately, Cooper, we have no idea right now. We have no idea. We have not been given a date. We've been told it's going to be coming soon. Eventually, we'll find out, I'm sure. Sure. Okay, it's confirmed. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, very, very unfortunate news. Whether you align with his political agendas or not, no one should be unalived for their beliefs. 31 years old as well. Yeah, it's very, very terrible. There has been no answer from Cashback. Screams that they don't have the answers. This is very concerning. Yeah, I mean, there are arguments for and against. Them not giving answers could be because they're trying to protect, you know, maybe their code or whatever it is they're trying to protect. Maybe they don't have the answers. Maybe they just don't want to address it because it's not worth their time right now and they're busy doing other things. I don't know, DC. I mean, you raise concerning points, justifiable concerning points, but we don't know. Again, if you aren't happy with Casplex, that's perfectly fine. It just means that when it comes out, you observe it and you don't get involved until you're confident that you can trust them. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I'm just, again, I can see all the questions and comments back and forth between the whole Charlie Kirk stuff. I am reading them or skimming through them, but I'm not going to show them on stream again just for potential terms and policies infringements, whatever it may be. Everyone said it was me. If you spread hate, then you don't be surprised when someone sees it in return. I mean, yeah, karma, effectively. That could be the case. Yeah, I see that. I honestly go through. I feel that so hard. And DC's crazy for saying that one. That's crazy. Okay, we haven't got any more questions regarding the AI generated thing. Is the misspelling on the picture? Oh, is it? Is it? That's the picture from the KEF. The AI generated thing is the misspelling on the picture. This is from the KEF though. And that's their stable Sion's comply can't and liquid unlock. If you can link this quickly to me, regardless of what you're talking about, Kryptoni, into the Kaspa channel, I'll have a look at what you're referring to. But right now, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's just gone over my head a little bit. Okay, well, in that regard, then I'm going to continue on with the stream right now, because it's just pretty much going back and forth right now between the Charlie Kirk thing and, I guess, opinions on the matter. You're welcome to say as you will. Just try and keep things respectful in the chat, please, because we don't want to spread we don't want to spread any hate in the community, really. Education's fine, and you're going to get on people's toenails here and there, step on people's feet, but be very careful about what you're saying, please. And Mr. Mars, if it gets too much, you do have the power now. But, you know, of course, with reason. Look it up. The fact that you don't know who she is. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. My question is there a bottom for Kaspa? There's always going to be a bottom for Kaspa. There can always be a bottom for Kaspa. The bottom may already be in this pullback here, the large liquidation event we just saw recently. It could be that. Make up again 7.2 cents. That would be quite a reassuring thing, truth be told. It may be a little bit lower. Again, we have to wait and see. And yeah, I saw that as well, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things going on right now. But anyway, that being said, other big news here, again, talking about this, we spoke about earlier, the inflation stuff here. This is very, very big news all around. And also will likely confirm rate cuts are coming very, very soon. So the current situation is the job revised was almost 1 million jobs less, the largest in history, which is very, very serious. June marked the first month with US jobs losses since 2021, pretty much the COVID pandemic area. PPI inflation fell unexpectedly to minus 0.1, second decline in 17 months, also quite good news. Unemployment rate has rose to 4.3%. So right now, we're basically seeing inflation's coming down and unemployment's going up, which is the perfect conditions for rate cuts. Now, is all the information we're given legit and correct? We don't know, because everything's being revised time and time again. But right now, inflation has come down significantly out of nowhere, unexpectedly, and unemployment is rallying significantly as well. So it's the perfect condition now to cut rates, which will be good all around. And tomorrow, CPI will also be reassuring to see what how significant it's going to be in the future as well. And again, if you want to find out more and exactly what this could lead to, I did tell my VIPs earlier today. Check it out, 7-day free trial. We do private live streams every single week. We also showcase trade alerts and whatnot. We do alpha information in there, giving everyone an insight on what's happening in the institutional world, what they're talking about to their VIP clients, to their enterprise clients that you don't get hands-on unless you know where to look, and you also subscribe to these sort of things, which I do. And I provide it to my community there, so we are aware of what's happening, and when the top hopefully will come in. And educational videos and so much more, you can get all out there for $49, $50 a month, or again 7-day free trial, or even a 1-month free trial. Should you sign up to BYDFI, no KYC, no VPN exchange, regulated exchange, which we're working alongside. Links all down below in the description. You can find all the information available in my free Discord server, which again, links are also homepage here and also down in the description below. So go check that out if you haven't done so already. But we have got some reassuring news, which again, Harvard JP Morgan here, they say institutional adoption into crypto is still in the early phases, and all the information provided by VIPs has confirmed that as well, that we are still ridiculously early, that it's not even funny. We are actually so incredibly early that it's refreshing, actually, to know how early we are, and therefore that we have a lot more to go. A lot more to go. And we got here from Elena Terrett as well, in response to this new Senate Democrats' framework boosts hopes for market structure deal. Dems' market structure principles have sparked optimism among Republicans, industry leaders, that bipartisan crypto structures reform could have passed through the Senate. If it gets, I think it's 60 to, there's 100 votes happening. If it's 60 to 40 votes in favor, then it will be pushed forward, which is really, really good. So at the fireside chat during the CoinDesk Policy and Regulation Summit, Lummis said the Democrat market structure principles helped show Republicans just how few differences there really are between the two sides. So if they are aligned for the most part, which, you know, they seem to be, if they are aligned, Democrats and Republicans, this market clarity act, this market structure bill should be passed off in a very bipartisan matter at the Senate, and therefore won't be long until it passes through and is signed into law by Donald Trump. And in continuation as well, other big news here as well. Just in, Trump's pick for CFTC chair released private texts with Tyler. The individual here, Tyler, showing the exchange about the agency's case against Gemini and Quintenz's reaction to it. He says this was the core reason Tyler lodged a complaint against him with Trump back in July. Have request for the comment into Tyler, whose company Gemini is set to go public this Friday. So again, Gemini's going public very, very soon, which is quite interesting. But we're seeing again, you know, leaked messages here seemingly for who the next CFTC chair is going to be. Again, whether this is completely true or not is tough to really determine, but Elena Terret has, you know, been a trusted source of mine for a while, who has got very, very good information. And, you know, she used to be a former Fox business journalist as well, so she tends to normally have very credible sources, so I do tend to trust what's being said here. And they're just talking about it here as well. More interesting stuff happening right now in the space, and, you know, could see how it's going to turn out in the future. I'm proud to have consistently supported Trump since 2016, having served in the first administration and on the transition team for the second administration. And though the nomination process and confirmation hearing testimony is in front of the US Senate, I look forward to continuing to support his agenda in whatever capacity I can. So it looks like Tyler or even Brian here will be the next CFTC chair of sorts for the looks of things, which will be interesting stuff. But again, I'll put information again available in my free Discord server if you want to find that stuff out there as well, and also all the posts here regarding the Kaspa stuff. Again, spelling mistakes aside, this is still really, really reassuring because I've seen all the listings coming through and all the stablecoins coming through as well in the near future. Go through the questions again real quickly. Still just go back and forth about the that sort of stuff, which is fine. Again, I just don't want to show it on stream for potential terms of policy violating of them. Keep up all the news. Bro, keep up all the news, even if it's bad. We need to know. The people who are watching you for the long time, like me now, know you're not a FUD channel. I appreciate it very, very much, my man. And yeah, I'll continue doing so, you know. I understand people don't like hearing FUD, they like hearing FOMO, but this channel is one that's trying to, again, hopefully train and teach you to not be illogical, or to not think emotionally, and to think and act logically and rationally. And therefore, to do so, you can't just listen to all good news and FOMO. You've got to listen to FUD as well. So I bring the FUD, I'll bring the news, I'll bring the FOMO, and I'll let you therefore determine what this could mean for your asset of choice, your Kaspa, or whatever you're holding for the crypto market, what this news could mean as well, and what it means for the market and the economy as well. And again, the sort of stuff I teach in a lot more detail with even more credible institutional sources from the VIPs, from big corporations like JP Morgan, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, Coinbase, Ernst & Young, Signum Bank. There's so many other massive institutions that I cover secret confidential documents of in this community here. Which again, you can find that information and therefore level up your understanding of crypto and your trading game here as well for free for 7 days. Again, links all down below in the description and also in my Discord community as well. So definitely go check that stuff out. It's just a way to keep more locked in, and that's what it comes down to right now. That's how we end up continuing staying ahead of the game and preparing for what's going to come in the next, you know, few weeks, few months, and equally years to follow as well. How we're seeing this massive wealth transfer happening before our very eyes. We appreciate Big Boy. I appreciate very, very much as well, DC, my man. Indeed, very much so. Fourth turning is playing out 100%. 100%. Yeah, the fourth turning is definitely happening right now. It's a tough time, but things will hopefully turn for the better in the near future. But with that being said, though, family, hopefully you all enjoyed the content for today. Again, I'd like to, for the most part, very reassuring news, and we've got a lot more coming through very, very soon. If you enjoyed, again, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. We're at 38 likes. If we can reach 40 likes, that'd be fantastic, please. If you want to know about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community. Link down below in the description. Also my homepage there as well. I think the mistake on the Kaspa poster are very bad. It proves the seriousness. First thing that visitors will look at stand. I mean, yes, I agree with the sentiment in a sense, coach, but it's also just spelling mistakes. And again, for people like me who's dyslexic, I didn't really see the mistakes. Like, I see it now that I know the mistakes, but if I just saw this right now, if I didn't see people highlight the mistakes, I wouldn't have recognized it at all. Because I'm dyslexic, but I don't think it's that significant in the grand scheme of things, but it does make it look unprofessional, so I agree with that much. But anyways, I appreciate it all very, very much. Everyone tuning in once more. Have a great day, good evening, good night, family, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care now, and good night.